listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hi there, welcome. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Underdog Show. I am your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I am joined by my friend and co-host, Doctor Who of Business, Ben Chai. Hello, sir. How are you? Hey.
Oh, hey. Very long days since the world is opening up, hey?
I figured you've probably been out and about, huh?
Just lots of work to do now. I'm sure you're getting the same with what's going on with you.
Definitely. I love your new do. Thank
you. My do you. So how's the launch of your book going? I noticed some signings and stuff on your social media.
Yes, thank you for asking. The book launch is going very well, and I'm actually deep into my second book. So I'm doing a whole series of books that all start with the word behind. So that was Behind the Green Screen, and the next one is Behind the Mask, and that's stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. So we've all been wearing visible masks through the pandemic, but yet many of us long before the pandemic and even now are wearing invisible masks of pain and suffering and loss. So they're going to be people's true stories that they're going to share to try to inspire others to get their story out there too.
Wow. Let me just have a look at what's behind yours. I can't see it. It must be invisible.
Oh, my mask. I thought you meant the green screen.
No, your mask.
Yes, yeah. No. Well, the good news is that because of the fact that I've shared about having 3 autoimmune illnesses, that I feel like I don't have a mask in that area anymore. But I did wear a mask for 20 some years about that. Yeah.
Do you think your radio platform, which you've created incredibly in just 6-7 months, 8-9 months? Do you think that helped a lot as kind of like a therapy to share some of the stuff that has happened to you?
I definitely think that it has. And I remember I had a show on a Friday night, Stories of Hope, Inspiration, Overcoming Adversity, and the guest didn't show up. So I did the show myself and I talked about my 3 autoimmune illnesses. And it was interesting because it was just me talking to the camera, to the audience. And I was kind of nervous as I was doing it. But afterwards, I felt like this big weight had been lifted off of me, even though I've shared my story before.
Right. Well, I mean, when you've done it online, it's like everybody knows now. And even if you delete it, it's cached all over the place. So it takes a long time to remove anything once it's out there. That's certainly true. And I did think to myself, seriously, that I've been on my former employer. I was on their healthcare plan for all those years. And then, of course, going out on my own, have to get my own insurance. And I'm thinking, everybody knows I have these 3 illnesses. So what is that going to do for the price of insurance? But anyway, one can't worry about those things. So yes, that's true. Doctor Who, I want to ask you, because you've been pretty forthcoming on our shows about various things that you've gone through, people you've had to eliminate from your life. And where's my knife? Where's my gun?
How do you feel when you're
country, so I'm not shooting anyone, just in case people are listening to the broadcast.
Well, how do you feel anytime you share something of a personal nature like that?
How do I feel? I feel that somebody might say it anyway, sometime, somewhere, might get out. So why don't I share? And if it impacts me negatively, I just feel I'll deal with it.
You have a very good self-care process, I feel like, and you are a trailblazer, really. That's this show is your idea, the Underdog show, and I give you a lot of credit for that, because it isn't easy for people to share their story, but when they know the person who's asked them really cares and is creating a safe environment, even though we're in the public domain, it could be a very different experience for someone to come on a show and they're going to share something that's with them all the time, and if they don't feel safe, then they're going to be upset about going through the process and having to deal with that too.
Yeah, that is really true. We hopefully our guest will be here today, Mariann Aalda. She thought the broadcast was on the 22nd of June, so she said, "Oh, Ben, I didn't know." So she's hurrying up, getting dressing. But whether she's here or not, if I can just share a tiny little bit about one of those aspects that I guess everybody will face as an underdog is ageism. And at some stage in your life, you could be all there. I mean, I'm not, so that's why it's okay for me to share anything about myself, because I'm not here. But when you reach a certain age, somehow people aren't interested in you anymore. Like, oh, you're too old, you're forgetful, you don't fit in the younger generation, say films, for example. You aren't as quick as other people. So ageism is kind of an underdog to many, many people, unless they can find their place in life and use their age. And we always say, hey, well, doesn't that mean I have experience and wisdom? And sure, it does, but you have to be able to use that and leverage that experience and wisdom, because not everyone's going to buy it. So you're going to have to, again, just think, okay, I don't need to deal with these people. They're not my community. I will work with people who appreciate what you've learned over these years and years and decades of experience.
Brilliant. And I'm glad you brought that topic up, Ben, because I have interviewed someone on the program in reference to ageism, and she actually is in the film industry. And as she's getting older, the parts that she thinks she should have an opportunity to audition for are not there for her because of her age. And I know in this country, I'm a boomer, and growing up, I always respected the traditionalists, the people older than me, because they have these experiences in life and wisdom that I don't have. But yet what I'm finding is, and I'm not saying it's across the board, but in general, some of the younger generations don't have that same type of respect for people as they get older. And I think it's something that needs to be addressed. We're actually having a new program. I didn't want to mention it, but it's going to be focused on that. Shh. Woo, cat's out of the bag now. No, but you bring up a very important topic, and I know our guest is going to be focused on that as well.
Yeah, she actually did a TED talk on it, on ageism. So, and she's actually also from the film industry as well. So that should be quite interesting. Yeah, you've already interviewed someone who has that kind of perspective. So you can kind of ask different questions. Maybe there were things, with these interviews, there are always things you want to ask later on, but we've only got so much time to share. So maybe some other interesting questions. I mean, when do you think age is ageism works both ways. Here we're talking about being old, but even when I was a little boy, I was in my 20s, it was very hard for me to get promotions and so on, because people look at me and look how young I am for someone who's nearly 200. And so when I was in my 20s, I would look like I was 10. I remember going into a board meeting, and the other executives who didn't know me asked what that little boy was doing in the room. And it's so I think it works both ways. Ageism works across the board as a preventing people in their careers and growing in their careers and their industries and life. So I think it's just your mindset that allows you to overcome these aspects. For example, we know that Mark Zuckerberg, what was it, at 25, was he a billionaire at that age?
Close.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't remember. Was it a friend of the Kardashians? I don't know. Through all their contacts, had loads of people. Can't. You know, so ageism shouldn't be a barrier to anything. And we know the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, Colonel Sanders, became. He didn't start his business till, what was it, 56?
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I see our guest is backstage. One question that I want to address with her and also with you is, and again, a general statement, but many women, and I'm not sure if it's men, but many women will lie about their age when they get to be a certain age. So instead of saying, oh, it's my birthday, I just turned 58. I don't want to talk about my age, actually. So they might give that response. Why are you asking about my age? It's not important what my age is, or how old do you think I look, instead of just giving the answer. So I would like to have that as a conversation as well.
All right, then.
All right.
We'll go to our commercial break.
Yes.
And then we'll have our guest on afterwards.
Yes, we're going to go to break right now. Stay right with us. We will be back. Bye on the Underdog Show. We'll be right back.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at DianeFloydBoehm.com. Visit DianeFloydBoehm.com. That's DianeFloydBoehm.com.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
Here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Underdog Show, with my co-host, Dr. Who of Business, Ben Chai. And Mr. Hi. I have to say that the ad we just saw, the character in there has the same hairstyle that you have. I'm wondering if there's any connection there. Well, thank you. Thank you for your sponsorship. So we've got a great guest backstage. Why don't you tell us all about her?
Well, really, I just want to say I'd like to our audience and viewers to give a warm welcome, however you do that, maybe comment in the live broadcast or the replay, to the most amazing, the spectacular actor and baby boomer and TEDx speaker, Mariann Aalda.
Welcome to the show. Hi.
Hi.
It is so good to see you. I am so sorry about the confusion. I had the hour wrong and the day wrong, and I was doing my laundry when you. So when you went to commercial break, I hurried up and I saw you were dressed so beautifully. I went on, put on some fancy earrings. I don't know.
I love it. Very nice, and you're in red too.
And I am in red too. So at least that was synchronistic. So, but I want to answer that question that you asked before you went to break about lying about your age. I never do it. And I think, a lot of times women are very coy. They don't want to answer. I'm just a woman of a certain age. And, that helps to perpetuate ageism. My mantra or my theme is, my brand is aging shamelessly. Oh, I can see my hair. I have a little piece sticking out over it. No, it's not over here.
Well, you're doing it shamelessly.
Aging shamelessly. And we perpetuate that shame when we feel that it's getting older is something to be ashamed of. And we have to start doing it. So I say proudly that I'm 73. And I also, when people talk about being ageless, I say that I am ageful. Because I want to give credit to every single one of my 73 years, because each year builds upon the next, and they've made me the person that I am. So I am ageful, not ageless. And when, a lot of times people say, oh, you don't look 73, you don't act 73. And I go, yes, I do. I act 73. This is what 73-year-old woman looks like when she takes care of herself, when she feels good about herself. And when she invests in herself, in self-love and self-care, it's.
I want to ask about that self-love, because you've overcome tremendous challenges in your life. Racism, sexism, cancer, ageism. I'm sure there's a lot more than I've even mentioned there. And I saw your TEDx talk. How is it that you have all this kind of energy? I mean, what is it that's helped you always overcome? I remember in your TEDx talk you said, well, my dad said to me, what was it? Always
don't let anybody else's no stop your yes.
Yeah, don't let anybody's no stop your yes. And you thought, oh well, that sounds like trouble, but you still took it. Whereas other people might think, why do you say that? And then your dad would have to explain, okay, look, this is life, sweetie. And then you'd be thinking, well, that's unfair. But you just took it and ran with it. And I mean, you had your own show. It was unheard of for a woman of color to have her own show. In that time, you just took everything, thought, I don't care. This is my dream. I'm going to get it.
Well, absolutely. See, I'm also, I trained as a hypnotherapist, and your mind, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So it will believe whatever it is that you tell it. So if you tell your subconscious mind that anything and everything is possible, then it is. There was a study that was done at Harvard University decades ago. And I remember reading about that study in Psychology Today at least 30 years ago. And it said that the that the mind operates holographically in pictures. So if you create an image of what it is that you want to accomplish or want whatever it is that you want to achieve, it sinks into your subconscious, and then the brain acts like a computer to bring your image into physical manifestation. And so there's no such thing as magical thinking. That's the science behind positive thinking. So you do create the world that you live in. You can't control all the circumstances, but the way you can maneuver through it is in large part psychological. It's mental. It's a mental game. And it's funny, Ben, because you mentioned what my dad said, don't let anybody else's no stop your yes. That was easy to follow. I just went, okay. But the thing that kind of did me in was that he said, now keep in mind, I was born in 1948 and he grew up in the Jim Crow South. So this was in the 1950s. He also told me, because you're a little colored girl, you're going to have to work 10 times as hard as those other folks. And then, but don't let anybody else's no stop your yes. The back part served me well. The first part of working 10 times as hard did not serve me as well, because I thought, I have to work hard, I have to work hard, I have to work hard. And then one day I realized, I think it was in my 60s, boy, why am I telling myself that I have to work 10 times as hard? Let me take that out of the equation. Let me instead say that everything comes to me easily and effortlessly, and then allow, as opposed to working and struggling. So I took the struggle and the striving out of my journey, and I just kept the resilience and the determination.
I'm sure Dr. Jacalyn also has 5 million questions out of that. But I actually think the hard work, because I don't think of hard work as struggle or anything. I think when you've worked, because here's the thing, Mariann, if you've worked 10 times harder than everyone else, that means your work has built on top of itself and compounded to make it impossible for you never to be successful. In other words, you're always going to be successful because you're so much further down the line than anyone who comes up against you.
Yeah, but psychologically, you also create a resistance. So I wanted to eliminate the resistance I still work hard, but the easily and effortlessly eliminates the resistance. And the law of attraction, it allows the energy to flow. There's a little story about a boat. If you're shipwrecked on an island, you don't want the waters to be choppy, because then the boat can't come and save you. You want the waters to be smooth, and then the boat can come in and rescue you. Make sense?
Good analogy.
I'm a metaphor girl, so.
No, that was very good.
What metaphors are for. Anyway, Dr. J, after you.
Yes. I was going to say, Mariann, I really related to what you shared about the information your dad gave me, because my dad said to me that I was going to have it hard so that I would realize what the real world was like. So I worked for him for a number of years, and it was tough. And I always thought that, okay, now I have all these great skills and tools that I've learned that I'm going to go out in the real world, only to find out that really had nothing to do with anything, that I had to learn to believe in myself and love myself. And so it sounds like what you're saying is that if you tell yourself over and over again, I'm too fat, I'm too, like all negative things, you eventually are going to believe it, and you're going to attract other people who are in the same scenario. But if you have that choppy water and you go and you smooth it out, you smooth out how you feel about yourself inside, and then the world sends you things that you might not have had otherwise. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The world treats you as you treat yourself, because our thoughts, we are sending out electrical currency, currents, vibration, and people will pick up on that. They will pick up on if you're, not only do they pick up on it on an energetic level. But if you're in a funky mood, it's going to show visually in your face. You're going to be sour or dour or dull. And when people see that, that's what they relate to, so you tell your thoughts, you give yourself positive thoughts, which then begins to reflect on your exterior, and it goes beyond that, because energetically we project energy out into the world, and people pick up on the energy, and then when they meet you, they pick up on what it is that they see.
I have so many issues with everything you've said. I'm so sorry.
You have issues.
Okay,
come on.
Issues? No, seriously. I want to. I know we should be going through Mariann's kind of challenges and drag her through the mud, and she can share the things that came out. But I remember when I was heartbroken, right? So I was totally heartbroken. I'd stayed under my duvet for over a year, apart from to go to work. A friend he forces me to come to his party. I said, look, I'm just going to be depressed in your party, or I'm just going to go sit there and watch the television. Anyway, I won't go through all of the adventure of that party. But at the end, this girl starts holding my hand, gives me her phone number and says, hey, will you call me? The next day I go to another party being depressed and whatever, and another girl comes and asks, I didn't even know how to ask girls out at the time. So this is like, this is why I and the other issue I have is like, a lot of people believe in the law of attraction and they say their affirmations and so on, but they're still, they all believe they're billionaires. Or they're an A-lister movie star, but it's still not working. That's why I have this challenge to what you were saying. I'm not saying that I disagree with you, by the way, but I do have that challenge because it doesn't work for everybody. And it seems to have worked for me in my life when I decided, Ben, you're a millionaire. And I just started acting like a millionaire. And suddenly I'm a millionaire because I believed it. I studied how millionaires, acted and worked and so on. And they're all very frugal people. The ones that worked hard for their money was the ones who inherited it. They just splashed money around or they've won it in a lottery.
Yes.
I don't know whether that makes sense.
Oh, no, it does. And I'm not a millionaire yet, but we do our own laundry.
I do my own laundry.
I do my own laundry too.
At least
I wanted to ask.
But I want to respond to Ben's.
Sure.
The reason why you attracted those girls, because those girls were probably women who were nurturers and caretakers, and they probably picked up on something that, oh, this guy is sad. Let me go over here and let me be nice to him. Let me get him out of, if I had seen you at a party, I probably would have done that. I would have said, hi, how are you doing today? Are you okay? Did you go out with them? I mean, what happened?
Wait, I want to say, Mariann, high five on that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly the same thought. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking of attracting, it's the last thing on my mind. I'm just thinking, oh, my life is miserable and crap and rubbish. I have to be careful on Dr. J's shows, or else she puts a banner across it so I can't say anything rude.
Thanks for warning me, because I have a potty mouth. Okay.
Right. Okay. And but things happened, and yes, I did. She was a lovely lady, and to my shame, I was still getting over the previous one, which took me 10 years to get over. So but she's a wonderful, wonderful person.
And is she still in your life?
Yes and no. So she's with someone else, and I never like to intrude. But if she wasn't, we'd be chatting happily. I hope.
Okay,
we used to afterwards.
Well, but see, you were, there's different layers of thoughts too. We don't just have one general thought. There's, you could have been in a bit of a funk because of the end of your relationship. But below that, at your core, you're a good guy. So what you were vibrating is, oh, this really nice guy, and he's sad. And you attracted a really nice woman who wanted to get you out of your funk. Now, does that make sense? Because believe me, if you were an SOB, I'm using the initials now. If you were an SOB, because I don't want to get that banner, SOB, she probably wouldn't have come over to you unless she was, a psychopath or something. In which case, that's another whole story.
Mm.
But
Mariann, I hope you're going to send Doctor Who a bill for this, because I think you're really helping him understand what was going on.
I mean, we have to look at ourselves that way. I mean, there's the core of who we are innately, inherently. And, everybody has good days and bad days. And the people who think, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. That's magical thinking, because what happens is that when you sincerely believe it, remember I said about the hologram, and then the brain acts to help bring that into the physical manifestation. When you hold the thought, it doesn't mean like suddenly you're going to win the lottery, although that could happen. But what it means is that when you hold that thought in your subconscious mind, it will give little hints and inklings of what to do in your conscious mind. Take this job and not that one. Invest in this company, not in that one. It puts you on the path, the right path to do the work. You still have to do the work. Where some people lose out is that they're just, they think that they can get away without doing the work. And that's magical thinking. That's not positive thinking.
Oh, I love that. I love the difference between magical. And I also think that because they're thinking, I'm going to be a millionaire, they're not going to be a millionaire, because it's always out there. Whereas I was thinking, I am. And living like I am, which was very frugally, because that's how millionaires live. Look at Warren Buffett, drives the same old car forever, so lives in the same old house.
I'd get a new house and a new car.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not in agreement with that, because I also think that you have to, I don't know what his personal life is like, but I think you have to treat yourself well. You have to be kind to yourself and good to yourself, so that the universe knows how to treat you, so that other people know how to treat you. I mean, I am frugal, but I'm not miserly. I'm good to myself. If I need a manicure and a pedicure, I'm not going to deny myself that. If I need to, if there's something that I want that makes me feel good, I don't deny myself that. But I don't go crazy either. I don't have any credit card debt and stuff like that. I'm very careful about that. But and I think a lot of women put their children, their spouse, other people ahead of them. And it's only within the last, since I got into my 50s, that I really started treating myself with as much care and compassion and concern as I do others. As a matter of fact, that I'm a uterine cancer survivor. And now I eat healthy, I take care of myself, I go to the gym, I work out. And so when I was diagnosed with cancer, I did a meditation. And because the body has its own intelligence. And I did a meditation to get in touch with my body. And I asked my body, what is the lesson? What do I need to learn from this? What am I doing wrong? And the answer that I got was that I treated other people better than I treated myself. I was more forgiving of other people and less forgiving of myself. And so that lesson taught me that the negative opinion that I was holding myself to, whatever higher standard that I was holding myself to, whatever in my subconscious mind I didn't feel I was living up to, it was manifesting in my body. My body was taking that all in, and it resulted in cancer. And I decided I never wanted to have that again. So I changed my attitude about myself. So I'm good to myself. Because let me tell you, any other time, if I had, been caught off guard, because like I said, I had the time wrong and the day wrong for us getting together today, and I was in the middle of doing laundry. At any other time, I would be beating myself up for, why did you get the day wrong? How did you do that? Look at you, your hair is a mess. You blah, 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 blah. I would have done all of that to myself. And now, I go, it's fine, Mariann. If have me back another time and I'll be all dolled up for you. But right now, this is what you get. And I'm happy with it. And I'm good. And anybody who's going to respond to me as they're seeing this, they're going to respond to me as a person, not because of what I'm wearing or a bad hair day.
Yeah,
Mariann, I think that's so fabulous that you said all that. And I just want to say to our audience, people will send an email, I can't make the show, I have to rebook. It's okay. Okay, things come up in life. And I think, I realize I'm 58. When I turned 50, that's when I started realizing that I have to take care of myself because I have 3 autoimmune illnesses. So thank you for sharing about what you went through. And I'm sure that was difficult. And what I'd like to ask you, for everybody out there, there are a lot of people who have cancer diagnoses, and you have such a great attitude. Were you angry at some point and you had to work through that anger, or were you like, why me? Were there any feelings that were negative that weren't serving you? I see you shaking your head. No.
I never thought, why me? Because I figure, why not me? Everybody has something. And ironically, my sister and I were diagnosed within 2 weeks of each other. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer. And neither one of us ever thought about the fact that, why me? I looked for what the lesson was for me in it. I didn't think that I was being picked out or being persecuted by the universe or anything like that. Everybody, what do they say? Into each life, some rain must fall. Mm-hmm. It happens. We all have obstacles and struggles and things that we go through. And we can learn from them. And if you don't take the lesson, then that's where you fall short. Take the hit, but look for the lesson.
I think in the Bible it says the rain falls. Just to build on what you said, the rain falls on the good and the bad alike. So it doesn't matter whether you're super pious or not. Really, whether rain is good or bad, because in some countries rain is good, is going to fall on you, and whether the sun, because in some countries sun is good or bad, is also going to hit you. So I love that. Before we go to our commercial break, we'll probably ask you something, Mariann, because I think you're so whoa out there. I'd like to just ask you that probably the most challenging thing you ever had in your life for you to think about, and then share with us how you overcame that. Would that be okay?
Oh, that's fine. Sure.
Right.
Absolutely. But I'm going to have to give it some thought, though. So, yeah, commercial break is good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'll take my cue. Commercial break it is. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Underdog Show. Woo! If you're just joining us, we are having a very lively discussion about a lot of very important topics. And my co-host is Doctor Who of Business. And our guest is the lovely, the delightful Mariann Aalda. Hello, nice to see you.
It's great to be here. Thank you. Okay, the question that you asked me before we went to break, I gave it some thought, and I have to go back to my childhood because I talk about my father in my TEDx talk, but I don't mention my mother as much. And my mother was, I think today she probably would have been diagnosed as maybe a borderline personality and with the affect of depression. My mother was really a brilliant woman, but she also grew up in the Jim Crow South, and she was 30 when I was born, and she never had the opportunity to achieve the things that she wanted to achieve. And I think there was probably a little bit of agoraphobia in there because she didn't like to leave the house, but she was really, really smart. And a lot of her depression, a lot of her anger, she took out on me as a child. And so as a child, I always wanted to please her. And I was like, get good grades and, come up with school. Maybe this will make her happy. And it seemed like everything that I did, I think just made her angrier because I was doing some of the things that she was afraid to do. And she used to tell me, who do you think you are? You're not so special. You're not so hot. And so that was a constant refrain that I had to overcome. So I had my dad telling me on one side, you can do anything. And my mother on the other side saying, well, who do you think you are? You're not so hot. And somehow or other, it drove me to succeed. But I don't think I was ever fully present for any of it. I think I did get as much joy as I could have been because I always felt that I had to be working towards the next thing, go towards the next goal. I never felt like it was enough. And in my relationships, I think I attracted the people that I wanted to probably please in the same way that I did my mother, which is not a very good basis for a relationship. And so I've been married twice and divorced twice. And in the last, I've been single for 20 years. I've had relationships along the way. And whenever any of my girlfriends would say, would you ever get married again? I say, oh no, I'd like to have a full-time man, but only around some of the time. because I like my space. I like who I am right now. And then just recently, I had the thought, well, what would it be like if a man was around all the time? Because I'm thinking of it in respect to the relationships that I already know. I don't know that kind of relationship where if the right partner came along, that we could explore that kind of scary intimacy and love and support for one another. And I thought, well, let me be open to that and open to the exploration of that and not say no to something just because I've never had it before. So, it's 73. Am I open to fabulous romance? Absolutely. But also at 73, I have truly fallen in love with myself. So if it never happens, then I just have, a full-time guy around some of the time and maybe a couple of guys around some of the time. Who knows? I could still be happy, with myself. But I'm not bitter about relationships. I'm certainly not bitter about men. And I'm certainly open to love and romance, even at 73.
Wow. Yeah.
I totally relating with you on everything you said. Definitely.
Well, ladies, do explain to me.
Well, I feel the same way. I just finally figured out who I am, and I finally found my passion, and I really like myself, and I don't need someone around. But if I did have someone, I'd want them to not be around all the time. So
we have been sold a bill of goods with, first one, love story. Love means never having to say you're sorry. That's a load of crap. Love means taking responsibility for something that you did wrong and saying, I'm sorry. Love means saying, I'm sorry all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's like, I hurt you, but you should get over it and I don't need to say I'm sorry. No. Love means having to say, you're sorry and own up to it. The second one, Jerry Maguire. You complete me. No, you complete yourself. You complete yourself. You can't, two halves don't make a whole. You have just two halves.
Brilliant. Yes, I agree with you.
Have you got any more?
No.
Have you finished?
Never, Ben, never.
Mariann,
Go on, Dr. J.
you've had such an incredible career, and I know we can't possibly do you the respect that you deserve in this short time that we have left, but I'm wondering, as someone who has worked in the entertainment industry, for people out there, who haven't been able to perform, right, because of the pandemic, they've not been able, and now they're thinking to themselves, I'm never going to get where I wanted to get because that year, that 18 months just put me so far back. Any words of advice that you might have for them?
Oh, yeah. It's like 18 months is nothing. Try being Black all your life. That's something that never goes away. And it's always been, I started out my career in Edge of Night, which was my first big television show, playing DiDi Bannister on the ABC soap Edge of Night. And she was a career woman, and she was feisty and spunky. And this was in 1981. And I had a I wasn't just the best friend of the lead. I had a full life as a character. And in fact, was one of the first Black super couples, Calvin and DiDi, because I fell in love with a cop, and he had been married, but his wife was fooling around with somebody else and had a baby, but it wasn't his baby. And it was a full, complete, everything that you want in a soap, I got a chance to do. And this was in 1981 when I first came on that show. And it was a breakthrough character, and it was a very important character for a lot of people, because when I was growing up in the 50s, my mother, I can remember playing outside in the yard, and my mother would come to the front door and she would yell out to my sister and me, come in the house, there's a colored person on Price is Right, because we didn't see that many people of color on television. And so the fact that I got to be on television, it's funny. My mother, who kept saying, what do you think you are? Who do you think you are, when I was growing up? Once I was on television, oh my God, yes, that's my daughter. Yes, that's she was just as happy and just as proud. And that gave me actually a lot of satisfaction, because I know that she had been unhappy for a good part of her life. And I was able to give her some happiness, not in competition with me, but through me. Then I got a lot of satisfaction, from that. But yeah, 18 months is just, that's just, you're taking so the road was closed. You got to take a detour. So get back on the super highway. Things are opening up again. Get back. But hopefully... Ben, I got another one for you. I got a million of them. But I told you I was a metaphor girl. I warned you. But the thing is that hopefully you've used that time wisely. Like during this 18 months, actually just the last 4 months, I got on Clubhouse. I didn't know anything about Clubhouse, but I've been building up an audience, connecting with my fans. And meeting a lot of people in the entertainment industry through some of the new Hollywood rooms. And every time I go in there, I preach the same thing. I tell them, if you do not change the storytelling to include women, older women, mature women who have a lot of money to spend, then you're leaving money on the table. Because if you create stories for us, if you build it, we will come. We will come to the television set and watch religiously. We will come to the movie theater. So I say that because I have a solo show, Getting Old as a Bitch, but I'm going to wrestle that bitch to the ground. I hope you don't have to bleep that out. But
Dr. J, would you like to be on that show?
The Edge of Night, starring DiDi Bannister. Yes, I love your work that you've done. Yes, please tell us more about your one-woman show.
But the thing about it is, I want to talk about the audience. the audience that comes to my show, the women are just so grateful because, you know, I've had women say to me, because I talk about marriage and divorce and raising children and cancer. I've had women say to me, where were you? Were you hiding in the closet because I swear I went through that. You know, or women who have been through cancer and they've come up to me with tears in their eyes, you know, saying thank you for, you know, helping to remove the stigma or the shame of having cancer, especially gynecological cancer, because women especially sometimes feel that if they're missing certain body parts, if they're missing a breast or a uterus, that makes them less of a woman. And I say that not having a uterus does not make me any less of a woman. In fact, I liken my hysterectomy to having an internal Brazilian. If you're going to landscape the runway, why not declutter the terminal? I'm still good for happy landings. You know, so I say stuff like this.
That's good to know.
I take lemons and I make lemonade, and women walk away with a little, you know, an extra little pep in their step. That audience is out there. I know because I'm in contact with them with my live performances, and they come to live shows because there's not enough for them that fulfills them, that speaks to them in film and television. So yeah, ideally, so I've been taking this 18-month period off time to do more writing and also to develop a treatment for a sitcom idea that I have, and I've been connecting with people, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So I think, yeah, use the time wisely. No, let me take that back. If you're the type of person that says, "Oh, woe is me, this 18 months has set me behind," then you aren't going to have much of a career anyway. Because if something that simple can put you into a funk and say, "Oh no, woe is me," again, self-fulfilling prophecy, then you're looking for an excuse for why you didn't succeed. Don't give yourself an out. Don't look for any excuse and you won't have one.
Yeah, on that point, Mariann, the thing is, if someone says, "Oh, 18 months set me behind," well, it set everyone else behind. You're all still at the same level. Anyone who's ahead of the 18-month curve spent time developing themselves further. You know, it's kind of like, no, you're in the same boat as everyone else. So I don't think that, I'm sorry, Dr. J, whoever these people are saying that, I totally agree with Mariann. You're never going to have a career because you didn't do anything with that 18 months. You buried your skills.
Yeah. I mean, look, Ben, I met you on Clubhouse.
I met Ben on Clubhouse.
Yeah, but we were in the singles room, right?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I'm teasing you guys.
It was in one of the new Hollywood rooms, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
And you know, and look where I am today. and who will see this? You know what I'm saying? You have to cast your bread upon the water. And when nothing is happening, you have to, you know, that's what I did. I wrote a one-woman show. Television wasn't hiring me. I did a one-woman show. But the thing about it is that now I have something to offer producers and directors. We are our own products. And something that I read in an interview with Sigourney Weaver, again, this was years ago, and she was talking about a book that she read that explained the entertainment industry. Now, it is a Harvard business publication. It's called The 500-Year Delta. I'm not even sure it's still in print. But it explained why successful companies failed. And it was because the world was changing so fast. And you know, if it was changing fast 20 years ago, it's really changing now. It said that large corporations had so much bureaucracy that they couldn't make the changes that they needed to make that are happening to stay successful. So they failed. And so in the book said, don't expend all of your energies trying to get into the game, because there are gatekeepers at every point trying to keep you out. And if by luck or circumstance you manage to get into the game, then by the time you're there, the rules have changed and it's a whole new game. Instead, it said you should use all of your energies into becoming the ball that everyone wants to play with. So that's how I've used these 18 months to make myself more marketable and to becoming the ball, with my solo show, with my stand-up, so that I have something to offer, so that when Hollywood comes to its senses and says, oh, yeah, we need to, oh, something came up on my screen here. I'm going to hit that. We need to address this audience. Then, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
no,
we're here.
Okay,
here.
I'm looking at you too.
Okay, something came up on my screen, and I don't know what happened. I just see something crazy. I don't see you two at all, but if you can hear me and you can see me, that's fine.
Oh, you can't see us at all? Oh, you probably,
No.
yeah, it's probably a glitch.
And I'm afraid to push anything else because then we might all go totally blank. So I'm just going to, as long as you can see me, I'm good. And as long as you can hear me, I'm fine. But yeah, so I've spent the last, actually, since the last 15, years becoming the ball that everyone wants to play with. You have to be your own. You have to be your own marketer, brander. You are the CEO of you, and create a product that gives value to the marketplace. So actors say, oh, let me hire, they want to be hired. They want to be hired. What makes somebody want to hire you? Do you have talent? Are you keeping yourself in class? Are you keeping yourself up? Become the ball that everyone wants to play with. And it's not about, you can't, because especially in Hollywood, you can't sell anybody anything. But what you can do is put yourself into an attractive position that you are what they want to buy.
I think that is a great way to close out this show. That was brilliant. Mariann, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I would say on Instagram, connect with me at Mariann Aalda, MariannAalda _ aging shamelessly. So I would say on Instagram, and just follow me, DM me, and also and check out my TEDx talk, because I think there's probably some nuggets in there for all of your listeners.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about nuggets to help people overcome the kind of like where people start putting them down because of their age, and then we got distracted. Sorry, audience.
Sorry, but we would love to have you back. So please do come back on the show and share more nuggets with us.
Oh, I'll come back and I'll be dressed. I'll come back in my evening wear.
I love it. That sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I'll look for you on Clubhouse too.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mariann.
Bye.
Thank you, Mariann. Bye-bye. Bye.
See you.
All right, Mr. Ben Chai, Doctor Who, I'm going to spotlight you. How can we find you and where are you?
Oh, just put me into Google. Just search Ben Chai, and I will pop up on Facebook, in Instagram, and LinkedIn, and so on. LinkedIn is probably the best place to find me, or Instagram. So that's the best way. And as always, if you're going through a challenging time, please do come and watch some of the Underdog shows, because there's something in there for everyone. It really does show people who've gone through some very, very tough times, who might be going through a time just like you, and it shows how they got out of their rut. So with that, this is Ben Chai saying, have a wonderful week. Till next week. Bye.
Till next week. Goodbye, my friend. See you later. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye. Another great show. Thank you for being here today. We had Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich show and now the Underdog show. What's coming up, you ask? The Business Show with Al Cini. And after that, we have A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. And we will round out the day with In the Name of Love. I would love for you to head over to Amazon and look into purchasing my new book that launched a little over a week ago. It's called Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. And who is this book for? It is for anyone who is looking to make a change personally or professionally in your life. Anybody who is working in the corporate world and is unsatisfied. It's for anyone who wants to know more about me. And it's for anyone who's interested in getting involved in the live broadcasting business. It's $19.99 and it's over on Amazon. Or for today, you can pick up the ebook for 99 cents. Yes, run over to Amazon now, 99 cents for the ebook. And I'd really appreciate a review when you finish the book. Thank you again. I look forward to seeing you on the Business Show. Until then, take care of yourselves.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.